Last Epoch Cycle 1.1 is just around the corner, and I want to show you guys my racing Torment Warlock build that I am going to be competing with in the hardcore solo account found Race to Kill Aberroth, the new pinnacle boss, and also see if we can reach level 100 first, because there is actually a leaderboard that is going to show the feat of strength of actually pulling through and reaching level 100 in a quite timely fashion. So for this, we're going to go Acolyte this season. No Blade Dancer for me. I didn't have that much prep. This is what I came up with. We're going to start with the pre-Warlock stuff with Rip Blood, and we're going to just put the points right here in Hemomancer and also Arcane Absorption, together with a Thirst to reduce the mana costs. Then Wandering Spirits will be used for clear, so you're just going to run, transplant forward all the time while killing the enemies with Wandering Spirits. These are going to be a little bit more poison based, so we have a little bit more damage, and we're also going to reduce the cooldown. Rip Blood is going to take care of the single target damage, which is not going to be used that often, but you need something for the bosses, especially early on. Then as soon as you can choose the Warlock Mastery, we are going to go and specialize that, and we're going to unlock Chthonic Fissure. For this, we're going to use Spirit Plague, Chthonic Fissure, Chaos Bolts, Rip Blood, and Profane Wail. You will actually see the skill points that I have chosen here. I suggest you check out the planner that is linked down in the description below, and we're going to focus on spreading the Spirit Plague and also gaining a lot of ward. We do that by using Putrid Recovery and the Agonizing Expanse, which is going to not only give us ward, but also spread the Spirit Plague onto other enemies. We also have stuff like Bleed, we have Slows on there, we also get Plague on there, and we get a lot of Curses, because that way we can actually deal more damage, which is part of the Warlock passive tree, as you can see here, more damage per course on the target. And for Chthonic Fissure, we're going to go and use the nerfed Chaotic Rupture still. It's still very good, shooting more Chaos Bolts out of our Chthonic Fissure while we are just running and going forward all of the time. We're not going to put Rip Blood on our skill bar. We're going to use Transplant instead, and the other 4 skills are going to be on the skill bar. Now, for the Chthonic Fissure, we also take the Acid Skin, which is another curse that is going to give us more crit on the target, for example. And we're also going to use Of Gloom and Flames, which is going to shoot the Chthonic Fissure into 2 directions, not only forward but also backwards. Basically, Chaos Bolts, which you can use on bosses, is going to give us Chill, which is going to be very important. It's also going to give us more health and mana. And on top of that, it is all of the stuff that you can see here is going to be triggered through the Chthonic Fissure when they actually Chthonic Rupture and use the Chaos Bolt. So you want to specialize this so that your spirits that are coming out of the Chthonic Fissure can get Chaos Bolts, and they are copying all of the stuff that you have in the skill tree. Also, we use Rip Blood that way, which is also specialized here, and we can profit off of all of this stuff as well, where we also get additional ward with Arcane Fortress. And we're also doing Blood Splatter AoE, and we're healing more, increasing the Blood Orb travel speed. So you can see all of the synergies working together, and while everything is being cursed and you are Chthonic Fissure ring around, you can use Profane Wail not only to become basically immortal, but also you are going to boost your damage quite tremendously, because you're going to deal more damage during channeling, which is actually Profane Wail. And with the Hex Flurry, you are going to cast Profane Orbs on top of that, which is just further going to deal more damage or increase your damage, and these scale per curse on the target. So you can see synergy over synergy over synergy. The passives you can see right here, and you can see I put 25 points in here, but we're just going back and collecting more points here when we're done. You only want to spend 20 points here to be able to unlock your Warlock. You can see which points to take by going through the first points here. Since I'm playing hardcore, I obviously value armor quite a lot, but in the beginning you should take the Blood Aura, and then you can respec later on. And then you can see, if you scroll to the far right, you can also see all the points that I have in Warlock. We get more curses, we get more mana regeneration, and we also get less damage taken per curse on the target. So a lot of synergy combined together here. The equipment is very straightforward. I have not put in any uniques or anything that is hard to get. And as you can see, there are some blue items, which means they only have 2 prefixes. Now, on these items where I didn't put suffixes, your objective is it to fix your resistances. So you are going to mix and match all of your items with the resistances, so you hit the max resistances of 75 always. Now, as you can see here, the suffixes are open and you are going to choose what you need. Is it cold resistance? Is it maybe elemental resistance? Is it maybe fire resistance? That's up to you. But what's really important are the affixes that I have put on the items. In the helmet's case, the implicit, the Acolyte's Coven head itself is really important, because when you are racing, you need quite a lot of mana regeneration, and the prefixes, the +2 to Chaos Bolts and the +2 Curse spell damage is very important here. So that's how you read this planner. For example, on the body armor, instead, you can see +2 to Chthonic Fissure is very important, and increased spirit frequency with Chthonic Fissure. Also, here again, the suffixes are up to you. You need to fix your resistances. You need to fix your reduced damage taken from critical strikes. And these are the open suffixes that you can use to mix and match how your character needs it, and depending on the gear that you find. On the yellow items, for example, you can see there is increased damage over time, increased damage while channeling, which are very important affixes to have. And you can see we have chance to shred armor on hit, which is a suffix that I want you to get. And as you can see here, we also have a sealed affix, which is necrotic penetration. And every time there is a sealed affix in the planner, this is basically a third recommendation for either the prefixes or the suffixes. I don't want you to seal these affixes. They are just an additional option for either the 2 prefixes, like in this case, for example, or if there's 2 suffixes on the item and a sealed one, then you can actually see that the sealed would be the suffix that I'm recommending. That is actually not the case here, but as you can see, for example, we do have the same thing on the gloves. We do have 2 full prefixes. We have 1 sealed affix, so that one would also be a great alternative to increase damage over time and intelligence. So you can basically choose between the 3 or whatever you will find, basically. And then we have 1 suffix, which is hybrid health, which is going to be very important and is a must-have on that item slot. And that continues throughout your planner right here. I have different implicits for the rings that I show you, either necrotic resistance or increased mana regeneration, because we're actually scaling necrotic resistance as a form of damage with our skills here. For example, in the Chthonic Fissure with the Twisted Waves, the more uncapped necro res we have, the more damage you're going to deal. So at some point, you're going to switch to stacking necrotic res when everything else is already fixed. As you can see, the character with just this gear already has 189. So that's a lot of additional damage that you're going to deal. The idols follow the exact same concept as the gear. When I only put 1 point there, in this case the curse spell damage, the other stuff is basically irrelevant and is going to be used to fix your resistances. You can see there's increased duration for Profane Wail 2 times, and there's the curse spell damage 2 times right here, with the second stat on the idol being whatever you basically need. Then we also have stuff like Vitality here, which again is going to have a open second stat on the idol, which is used to fix your resistances, your armor, whatever you need. And then there is also increased damage over time here for the Blighted Small Eternal Idols. And you can find the blessings down here. Obviously, I have skipped the ones for the shards or the increased helmet drop rate, for example. And of course, the first one is going to be experience for the first couple of days until you hit 100. And then with the new system of the blessings, you can obviously change that around as soon as you don't need the increased experience anymore. Now, as I said, I'm going to be racing to hardcore solo account found level 100 world first and try to also get the world first Aberroth kill with this exact build. If you're interested in that, I suggest you check out the Twitch. That is going to be linked down in the description below. Maybe you can come by, ask a question to Torment Warlock, or maybe just sit there together with over 100 other people and chit-chat about last Epoch. Maybe cheer me on during the race, maybe get some new infos, maybe even see the first Aberroth kill live, who knows. And yeah, the link again is going to be down in the description. And if you like content similar to this, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.